This is a CBS7 First Alert Weather Day. Now, an update from Chief Meteorologist Tom Tieferteller.
Well, we are still tracking some severe thunderstorms across parts of the northern Permian Basin, but the overall severe weather threat calming down. Here's a great view of a low precipitation supercell that is up around the Seminole area right now. This is our live iCam in Andrews. Looking off to the north, you can see that wall cloud there. It doesn't look like it's rotating, but you can see the supercell thunderstorm. Here's the inflow area. There's the outflow area with the rain and possible hail across portions of Gaines County. Let's get right to the radars and show you what's going on. Again, as we are seeing thunderstorms again across parts of the northern Permian Basin. Now everything else is dying down for tonight. The severe weather, the supercell thunderstorm that produced the tornadoes across portions of Midland and Upton County, well, that is starting to spin down as it nears Ranch Road 1555 there in western portions of Reagan County. We're still carrying numerous severe thunderstorm warnings here across portions of the Gaines County area, Seminole, and over towards Patricia near Lamesa. Possibility of up to golf ball size hail, wind gust up to 60 miles an hour associated with these storms, and also some very heavy rainfall. Flash flood warnings across Gaines County, and also a flood warning remains in effect for runoff, especially along U.S. Highway 80 between Midland and Odessa. There is some water still standing, flooded areas ongoing out by the Miller National Air and Spaceport. But it does look like, again, this thunderstorm activity trying to decrease a little bit as it does push off to the east across the area. And again, we do have that tornado watch just cleared out at 9 o'clock for most of the Permian Basin, shifting over towards the Concho Valley, again, for the possibility of severe thunderstorms a little bit later on this evening. But again, the threat of severe weather starting to wind down across the area.
Thank you, Tom. We've got a look at some of those tornadoes right now, where the tornado warnings were issued for Midland County as a supercell thunderstorm moved from the north and western parts of the city of Midland. From Astound Broadband Stadium west over to the Midland International Airport, and then south into Upton County. The tornado warnings went as far west as the Mission Dorado area, then they moved south. Tornadoes were seen at the Midland International Airport and later further south in Upton County. A tornado was also seen in Terrell County. Tornado warnings were issued near the Texas-Mexico border. And there was also damaging hail. With the strong winds, some viewers reported to CBS7 that hail was coming down sideways. You can see from these pictures that were sent in by you, our viewers, the storms produced baseball and softball-sized hail that caused severe damage all around Midland and Ector counties. The Midland County Emergency Management has a damage assessment form that can be filled out online. That information is completely voluntary, but it would help Midland County assess the total damage throughout Midland County. In Midland, during today's severe storm, a home in Grasslands caught fire. Take a look at the video. The cause of this fire is still undetermined, but City of Midland officials say that the weather conditions made it difficult for the department to stop the fire. Luckily, no one was injured, but a family was displaced. According to one of the neighbors, the Grasslands community is coming together to help these homeowners. And former President Donald Trump has been found guilty of all 34 counts of falsifying business records in his New York hush money trial. Trump is now the first president in the U.S. history to be convicted of a criminal offense. The 6-week trial started in mid-April, and the jury deliberated for more than 11 hours before reaching a verdict Thursday afternoon. Trump called the verdict a disgrace and continued to claim that he did nothing wrong. We went out today to see how Odessans reacted to the news.
You made my day, period.
It was just a scare tactic for it, and I believe Donald Trump will bring us back around. Drill, baby, drill.
Trump will be sentenced on July 11th. The judge could sentence Trump to probation or up to 4 years for each count in state prison, with a maximum of 20 years. And Texas political leaders reacted to the sentencing today as well. Senator Ted Cruz released a statement saying, in part, quote, "This is a dark day for America. This entire trial has been a sham, and it is nothing more than political persecution. This disgraceful decision is legally baseless and should be overturned promptly on appeal." And Senator John Cornyn also released a statement on the verdict saying, in part, quote, "Now more than ever, we need to rally around President Trump, take back the White House and the Senate, and get this country back on track. We've got an update now to the Alpine fire we've been following. The Alpine Police Department and the State Fire Marshal's Office have declared the cause of a fire in downtown Alpine to be undetermined. According to the Alpine Police Department, the design of the building made it tough for firefighters to get to the fire. They worked to save the structure, but it ultimately fell. Several firefighters were treated for smoke inhalation, but there were no serious injuries. For more information on the fire and the businesses that were affected, you can go to our website or download the CBS7 First Alert News app. And we're tracking crime here in West Texas, where 6 people were indicted by a Howard County grand jury for engaging in organized criminal activity. That was after conspiring together to steal $500,000 from a Big Spring nonprofit, Isaiah 58. According to the Big Spring Police, an ex-board member for Isaiah 58 told police about the theft, saying he was getting calls from debt collectors. The police investigation found that the 6 people conspired to steal that money over 3 years, between January 2020 and June 2023. As of 4:30 this afternoon, none of the 6 people have been arrested or charged, but their names are up on our website and will continue to follow this case. And this morning, emergency medical technicians in Midland and Odessa came together for a disaster exercise. The Midland Air and Spaceport simulated a mock mass casualty so that they can use the emergency plan in case something happens in real time.
This is all part of evaluating the airport's emergency plan if a mass casualty were to occur. Once the exercise started, EMTs began examining the mock victims and then examining inflatables that were wounded. After that, they're taken to medical areas to get continued examination or medical treatment. This exercise is done for airports that are certified for air carrier operations. However, it is also a good training for those that haven't gone through it.
And allow a lot of the first responders and the airport's mutual aid partners who may not experience emergencies at an airport to gain some experience. So should unfortunately a real world event happen, everybody is better prepared to respond so we can ensure that the members of the traveling public have the safest experience when they're traveling through the Midland, Odessa area.
Some of the emergency services that responded were the Midland Police Department, Midland Fire Department, Odessa Fire Rescue, and the Midland International Air and Spaceport. The amount of aircrafts that go through MAF dictates how many mock passengers are on the exercise.
We've also tried to work more on some of the security concerns that may come into play on such a large-scale incident. And we've also worked on evidence preservation and scene preservation.
Today they had 105 simulated passengers on board. Krakowiak says they've also continued to make updates to the trainings in the last 3 years. This is the 3rd exercise that Krakowiak has organized, and he was also a volunteer for one of them when he was a little kid.
The thing that is always the nicest for me to hear is when we have people who may be new to responding to an event such as this say, I really learned something today. And that's ultimately the goal. The goal of all the effort and work to host the drill is to make sure we all try to learn something from it so we can be just a little bit better should we have to come out here for an actual event.
Krakowiak says there hasn't been a major aviation accident in this country in over a decade, and it's because exercises like these that help local emergency services stay ready in case of an emergency. For CBS7 First Alert News, I'm Nora Tega.
Thank you, Noe. The city of Odessa says your water may smell like bleach or chlorine for the next few weeks, but that is, quote, nothing to be concerned about. The city says it is temporarily changing how it disinfects the water supply, and that starts tomorrow, May 31st, and it'll run through June 29th. The city says this is a proactive maintenance activity and that they've done this in previous years with minimal impact on customers. The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality has signed off on the city using this treatment method, and Representative Brooks Landgraf met with city officials and members of the Texas Water Development Board today to figure out what kinds of state funding could be available for Odessa's water infrastructure. He said in a statement, quote, "The Rainy Day Fund, which is of course mostly funded by oil and gas production taxes, has been tapped on several occasions to fund these statewide water initiatives, and TWDB is an effective steward of those funds," end quote. And now to a traffic alert. Emergency construction is underway on Midkiff Road near Cuthbert Avenue in Midland, which was impacted earlier this week by a busted stormwater line. Traffic on Midkiff Road will be limited to one lane heading north near West Cuthbert Avenue. Southbound traffic will remain unchanged, but you can see the affected area in green on this map. They hope to have it repaired within the next couple of weeks. Still ahead, an Odessa legend was back in Odessa today to honor some important people in his life. We'll tell you about it up next. In some education news, UTBB art student Madison Guerrero is getting a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. She'll be traveling to Paris next month for an art residency. CBS7's Armando Gomez spoke with Madison about her upcoming trip. He joins us with the details. Armando.
Art has been a big part of Madison's life since she was a small child. She tried other career paths, but ultimately realized that art is what she wants to do.
And I didn't even know that's what I was going to want to do later in life. Because I started out doing physical therapy, and then I just was like, no, like this isn't what I want to do, you know, like honestly. So I think it is a really big impact in my life because it is my life.
One of her professors at UTPB spends time in Paris, France every summer and personally invited Madison to go with her this year to learn from all kinds of artists. Madison and her professor will be conducting undergraduate research about making materials from natural things from scratch to put on paintings. Madison believes that being in Paris will get her ready to take the next step for her artwork.
When I'm over there, I really just think that my work is going to flourish a lot more than it has here. I mean, I think I've already exceeded a lot my expectations. But when I go over there, I feel like I will just be so in tune with just myself and my work. Like I won't have to worry about school or work or like anything else other than what I'm doing in that moment.
Guerrero has been working at Stone Tower Graphics for 3 years. To help cover her travel expenses, they're now selling t-shirts with her designs on them.
We go to her exhibits and we see her artwork, so it's great to see that she's been able to spread her wings and do all these great things. And just her having the ability to go somewhere like that, we're super happy for her.
Not many young local artists have the opportunity to travel to Europe. She's thankful to receive this opportunity.
I know other people that have been much, much older than me that go all the time. And like for my professor, this is just another summer thing she does all the time, you know, and she's blessed to do that. And for me to go, it's like I'm just a college student that works and, you know, pays bills and does stuff like that. And to go over there and have that opportunity is like really unheard of.
That was Armando Gomez reporting. And today, the Gatlin brothers were back in Odessa and back at Odessa High School, their alma mater. They put together a ceremony to honor 3 past fine arts directors who made an impact across generations through teaching. Each will get a poster in the Performing Arts Center right alongside the Gatlin brothers. Each educator got recognized for their accomplishments. Then as a group, everyone sang the OHS school song and fight song.
Threat of severe weather is decreasing across parts of the Permian Basin. We're still tracking some severe thunderstorms across the northern Permian Basin. We're going to get you an update on that activity coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, let's get right to the iCams first off. I want to show you that storm that was looking very picturesque a little bit earlier, starting to weaken a little bit. Now, interesting picture here. We have the anvil. You can see the back edge there in a tremendous lightning show with this severe thunderstorm that's near the Seminole area. There's another anvil back further off to the north of this that's producing tornado warnings across Yoakum County. We're keeping an eye on this stuff because it could drift off to the south, the southeast. But now that the sun has set, we're not seeing the atmosphere destabilized quite a bit. So we're watching out for the possibility of some of this stuff further off to the south. New flood warning in effect for runoff across Midland County. Could continue some flooding. Now, some areas along Business 20 near 1788 still having a lot of water stacked up in them. There's other other spots too that are dealing with this. So these flood warnings are going to remain up till 10:45. Take care traveling out there. Now, we are looking at a severe thunderstorm starting to weaken a little bit here, and it moves across the Seminole area. Flash flood warning also in effect for that location. Another severe storm moving in across southern portions of Dawson County to the east of Patricia, near Klondike, over towards Ackerley. You're next in line to get this. Possibility a $half size hail, wind gust up to 60 miles an hour. Also watching out for some heavy rainfall that could cause quick flooding of low-lying areas. And you see all these storms continuing to travel. Everything's kind of drifting off to the east, to east-southeast. So we'll watch this. But again, atmosphere is starting to stabilize a little bit, so that's going to decrease the severe weather capabilities of these storms. But definitely something we'll be watching as it does track a little bit further in across parts of the northern Permian Basin. Other thunderstorms getting going across portions of the big country right now, and there's a big line moving out of the Texas Panhandle. I think that's going to miss us to the north and east, as we're going to see things stabilize quite a bit as the atmosphere cools out there across the area. Another line of storms producing strong winds across portions of southeast Texas, where temperatures today across the state, we saw kind of a mixed bag out there. Got up to 93 before the outflow boundary hit, and then the storms out at the Middle National Air and Spaceport, but up to 103 in the Presidio area. Now, taking a look at the future cast, everything whips out of here. Looks like overnight tonight, so we'll take a look at the forecast for tomorrow. That dry line still going to be off to the west next to New Mexico State line back into the lower Trans-Pecos. Could see an isolated thunderstorm or two form up along it, but I think we'll see kind of a down day across the area. But watching out, maybe tomorrow night late, an isolated shower, thunder shower clipping the parts of the northern and northeastern Permian Basin, and it looks like the dry line may get active again as we move in towards Saturday afternoon. But for tomorrow, though, an isolated severe thunderstorm not out of the question. I think the lower Trans-Pecos area is going to be the best bet coming up tomorrow. So quieter overnight tonight, as thunderstorm activity ending by about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then tomorrow, a lot less in the way of that thunder shower activity. And temperatures not too bad across the Permian Basin. Next big day for thunderstorms, I think, is going to be on Saturday. We're going to need to watch out for that. May have to up those rain chances a little bit. Some of it may linger into Sunday, but then a big ridge of high pressure is going to move in, dry things out, bring those triple digits back.
Still ahead here on CBS 7 News at 9, it's common knowledge that everyone needs a healthy work-life balance. Up next, how one Ector County sergeant likes to spend his free time. Tonight, we bring you the story of a man who wears two very different hats. Sergeant Andrew Lagoon. During his night shifts at the Ector County Detention Center, he keeps an eye on some of the county's most dangerous offenders. But during the day, he delves into a completely different life. CBS7's Isabella Garriga met with Lagoon to discuss his double life. Isabella?
I've kind of been a geek and a nerd my whole life.
Lagoon, a self-proclaimed nerd, has been indulging in his hobby since the tender age of 5 years old. He has a passion for collecting and selling action figures, cards, comic books, and more. Beyond this new side hustle for Lagoon, he has served in law enforcement for 8 years, with the last 2 as a sergeant. And that takes a toll.
We put on multiple hats a night. We're the counselors, the officers, sometimes just the shoulder to lean on every once in a while. It takes a toll on us throughout the night. 12 hours of flipping hats all night long.
Collecting is not just a pastime for him, it's a way to unwind and de-stress after long nights at work.
Really, on my days off, I just completely forget about work, and I go straight to my collecting. This is like my safe zone over here. This is what keeps me going during the day.
Lagoon says his ever-growing collection and spending time with his family are the 2 biggest sources of relief for him. He also says that everyone needs a hobby like this in their life.
You have to find that hobby that completely takes your mind off of what you're dealing with. You have to find that hobby that brings the joy to your heart. That's the only way that it's going to completely separate you from everything else.
Many of Lagoon's fellow officers and co-workers are avid buyers of his collectibles. Some are even repeat customers who buy his items before they even hit the market.
Really, it's just, you just have to completely shut off your work life from your home life. And with the years that I've been doing it, I wouldn't say it's easy to do, but you have to learn that difference or it's going to consume you.
And while Lagoon enjoys the thrill of his collecting hobby turned business, he admits that it requires careful scheduling to maintain a work-life balance.
Let's get back to the radars now, showing you that shower thunderstorm activity starting to wind down a little bit. We still have a flood warning in effect for runoff, causing flooding in some areas, especially along Business 20 out by 1788 in Midland County. That's going to continue until 1045. Severe thunderstorm warnings expired across portions of Gaines County. Still have a flash flood warning there, but the severe thunderstorms are moving across portions of southeastern Dawson County near the Ackerley area and moving off to the south and east. Still could be looking at some half-dollar size hail, wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour with that storm that's tracking off to the east at about 20 miles an hour. You can see other thunderstorms there across the South Plains. Watching that to move in across the northern Permian Basin. But the good news, Lauren, is the threat of severe weather is going down. The tornado watch we had earlier, that has expired. So it looks like, again, now that the sun is set and the atmosphere is stabilizing, cooling off a little bit, that the threat of severe weather calming down, and we need a break.
We do. We really do. It's been a crazy day. But thank you for joining us today for CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight at 10.